Hello and welcome to the tutorial on Introduction to Web Programming Exercises. In today's session, we will be concentrating on the third exercise where we will create an HTML file to perform these following tasks. First task is to draw a square using HTML5 with SVG and fill that square with green color and also make a 6-pixel brown stroke width. Okay, so we'll try to do it with the help of SVG. So we'll see the concept of that SVG very soon. Okay, and the second thing is to write down the equation d is equal to x square minus y square using HTML5 MathML. Okay, so we need to use this MathML and then try to define this equation in the HTML page. And the last task is to redirect to a specific HTML page after 5 seconds using the concept of HTML5 meta tag. Okay, so we'll try to perform each of these one by one. So let us jump back to our editor. Okay, so let us create a file, say let's say third.html. Okay, so let me create a new file and let's have the basic structure of the HTML web page by doing this. Okay, so we have our basic HTML web page. Okay, so the first task that we need to perform here is to draw a square using HTML5 SVG. Okay, so SVG stands for Scalable Vector Graphics. Okay, so using SVG we can define vector based graphics in the XML. Okay, XML stands for Extensible Markup Language. Okay, so which we can directly embed into the HTML pages. Okay, so these SVG graphics are scalable and they do not lose any quality even if they are zoomed or resized. Okay, so it is used to define vector based graphics for the web and it defines the graphics using the XML format. Okay, so each element and attribute in the SVG files can be animated. Okay, so this SVG can be defined in an HTML web page with the help of SVG tag, or you can say SVG element. Okay, so we'll try to do this first task wherein we are asked to design a square and fill it with some color and also provide a stroke, width stroke, through which we will provide a color for the border. Okay, so we'll try to do that exercise. Okay, so we should be making use of something called as SVG. It has got both opening tag as well as closing tag. Okay, so to this SVG tag we should provide width and height. Okay, how much amount of space it should occupy. Okay, so let's stick to 100 cross 100. Okay, height 100 cross 100. Okay, inside this we should be able to create the rectangular box. Okay, let us see. No, it's not a rectangular box, it's a square. Okay, we should draw a square. Okay, so how do we do that? So to draw the square we will be using a tag called as rect, wherein we specify both height and width, or you can say x value and the y value to be same so that it becomes a square. If you want to draw a rectangle, even that is possible with the help of rect tag. Okay, so rect tag, let us specify the value of x to be, let's say, 10 and y to be equal to 10 so that it becomes a square. Okay, rectangle is going to become a square when its x and y are same. Okay, and the next thing is to define some width for this. Okay, the earlier width is different and this width is different. So this width specifies how much amount of space the rectangle has to go through. Okay, fine. So let us specify the width, let's say 80, and height to be equal to 80 again, so that it becomes a square. And let's try to use one more attribute called as fill. So we want to fill it up with some color, let's say green. Okay, and let's also provide one more attribute, which is stroke. So this stroke is going to draw an outline for that rectangular box, or I can say square in this case. Okay, so let's try to stick to brown because they have said it to be brown. Okay, and let's also specify the stroke width because they have specified it to be 6 pixel. Okay, the width of that stroke must be 6 pixels, so that's why we are adding stroke width to be 6 pixel. Okay, and that's it. Let's close the rectangle tag. Okay, I'm just gonna bring these things down so that to the new line, so that you can see the stuff very clearly. So this is how we are trying to draw the SVG. Okay, fine. So let us try to run it. Let's go to the folder and then try to run it. So let me open this up with the Google Chrome. So this is how you can see the rectangular box with green color filled in, and then a stroke with brown color with 6 pixels of width. Okay, so this is what we can do it with the help of SVGs. Okay, so with this, I think we can draw any sort of graphics which are feasible enough to fit in with any type of device, and we can represent it very easily using the HTML files. Okay, so let's come back to our second task. So the second task is to use the concept of MathML in HTML5 to define a mathematical expression called as d equal to x square minus y square. Okay, so let us try to do this in the same web page. Okay, so right after this, I'm just gonna draw a simple HR tag. Okay, horizontal row. Okay, just to differentiate between the first task and the second task. Okay, so I have a horizontal row being drawn here. So let me concentrate on the second part. Okay, so in the second task, we need to make use of MathML, so that we need to write the mathematical expressions. Okay, so in order to do this, we have to use a specific set of tags under MathML, which helps us in defining the mathematical expressions. Okay, so first and the foremost tag that we must use is the math tag. Okay, so math tag, along with this math tag, we should also specify the XML namespace, using which we can make use of the MathML available in the HTML5. Okay, so let us define as http and then www.w3.org/. This is the URL through which I can access the MathML. Okay, so math/mathml. Okay, so this is the XML namespace that we must be able to use. Okay, so we are intent to write a mathematical expression which is d equal to x square minus y square. Okay, so in order to do that, we should make use of something called mi tag. The first thing that we should write here is d, right? So d is something which we generally call it as identifier. So mathematical identifier, the tag name here is mi, which stands for mathematical identifier. Okay, so here we will just say d. This is the first thing that we want to write in the mathematical expression. Okay, so right after that, we want to have that equal to operator. So that equal to operator can be written with mo tag. Okay, MO stands for mathematical operator. Okay, so D and then equals to is done. Next thing is x square. We should write x square. So in order to write the x square, just like the way we use the concept of superscript in the regular HTML, same thing is involved here in the MathML. Okay, so here I'm just going to use one more tag called as msup. Okay, MSUP, which is going to help you to draw the x square, or you can say to write the x square. Okay, so once again I have x to be represented and I have 2 to be represented, right? So in order to represent the x, I will go ahead and use the mi, which is for mathematical identifiers, and then the next thing is to represent that square, the 2 number, right? So to do that, we will be using something called mn, mathematical number, right? So this is going to write x square for us. Okay, and then the next thing is d is equal to x square minus y square. So the next thing is to write the operator, right? So once again I'll use mo, and then here I'll indicate minus symbol, and then the next thing is again you have y square. So in order to do that, once again we will use msup for making the superscript stuff, and once again we will use mi. Okay, once again we will use mi. In this case we will be using the identifier as y, and the number that is required here is 2 again, so that's why we will use mn tag and then 2, right? So this is what is intended to be done here in this second task. Okay, so d is equal to x square minus y square. Okay, so let me save the file and then go back to the browser and see the result. If I refresh, we can see d is equals to x square minus y square. So this is the regular way of writing mathematical expressions on the HTML web pages. Of course, you can even write it with bare HTML tags, but this provides very sophisticated features for you to write very complex mathematical expressions, mathematical representations. Okay, so this is what is our second task. Okay, the third and the final task here is to redirect to a specific web page using the concept of meta tag. And there is also one more constraint here, which is to get redirected after 5 seconds. Okay, so this we can achieve it with the help of meta tag. Okay, so let us try to do it. Okay, so in our current exercise, let's go back to our head section. So this is where we should write the meta tag. So let's write the meta tag. So meta, and one of the attributes that we must specify here is http equiv. Okay, equiv, which indicates what task to be accomplished. So here we want to refresh the page. Okay, it means we want to get redirected. Okay, we want to get redirected. Okay, http equiv equal to refresh, and one more thing that we should represent here is content. Okay, so content is what I want to get refreshed after 5 seconds. After 5 seconds, where I want to get redirected, so I should specify the URL to which I should get redirected. Okay, so URL is equal to, let's say, first.html. Okay, so this is what we need to specify. So http equiv refresh, and then content is equal to 5. Okay, so let us close the meta tag and then we are done. Okay, so if we save the file and then go back to the browser and then refresh, and then now we have to wait for 5 seconds. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right? So we got redirected to the other page. Automatically you can get redirected to any of the HTML web pages, or in fact to be specific, you can redirect to any web page or any resource on the server using meta http equiv and then refresh. Okay, you can also set a certain amount of time so that you can refresh the page automatically. Okay, so this is what is there as part of your third exercise. Okay, thank you for watching.